We had a big Delmarva birthday earlier this week. The Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel turned 60 years old. It opened on April 15, 1964, connecting Hampton Roads with our own Cape Charles and Virginia's Eastern Shore.
So, does it scare you when you go down into the tunnels? It feels like you're just driving right into the water.
Who wouldn't be?
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But actually, I know somebody who wouldn't be. Nothing scares Jim Duffy of Secrets of the Eastern Shore, celebrating the Bridge Tunnel birthday with a collection of strange and wonderous tidbits and oddities.
You have too much confidence in me because it scares me.
It does?
It does.
Now, let me jump off here first and say, Wikipedia says there's only like 15 of these bridge tunnel combos.
Yeah.
So why this one here?
Yeah, 15 in the whole world.
Yeah.
Wow.
And only 3 in the United States. And they're all in Hampton Roads.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What's Hampton Roads most famous for?
Tunnels?
Tunnels.
Tunnels?
No.
The United States Navy.
Oh.
In the 1950s.
Now I'm embarrassed.
In the 1950s, when the idea of building just a bridge across these two things came up, the Navy's reaction was no, nada, no way, not in a million years.
Ain't gonna work.
And we just saw, tragically, the reason why the Navy was right with the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore, because if that had happened on a bridge, they couldn't get Navy ships out. They need to move. They need
Never
to move.
knew that. Had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's why they had to go with the bridge tunnel design.
And all 3 of them here.
How long did it take to build?
3.5 years. Does that seem long or short?
That seems long to me, but I mean.
Does it seem long?
I think it's kind of short because you're going underwater.
Yeah, it's
true.
like 18 miles long. And so I did a little bit of math. There are 4,800 pilings in the bridge parts. Forget about the tunnels.
Yeah.
And if you did the math, divide by the number of months, divide by the number of weekdays, they're sinking like 5 pilings a day. That seems like a pretty good rate to me.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, and especially if you look at it from Chopper 16, it's curved.
I know, it's kind of a beautiful curve too when you get those area shots.
Why? But why?
So they had to do, it's a response to the geology of the bay. So there's all kinds of bedrock down there, and then there's one layer of kind of sand and mud, and they needed to find the sand and mud that was most compact and most stable to hold those pilings in place. So they did all kinds of like test drill, and the curve is following
And they found
the
where it
best
was
spots.
Interesting.
How much does this thing cost?
Taxpayers? Nothing.
Really?
Yeah. The state of Virginia authorized the Bridge Tunnel Authority to sell $200 million in bonds. They did that in the early years after it opened. That didn't work out so well. There were a couple of problems. So in the early planning stages, they didn't know that there were also going to be plans to improve I-95 on the Western Shore and expand it and connect it better and things like that. So they expected all this traffic from New York and Philadelphia, vacation traffic going to Florida and going to Hilton Head and whatever else, to zip down the shore, and instead all those people went on the Western Shore. And then the gas crisis came in the early 1970s, and there was like rationing and gas prices through the roof, and people were not driving anymore. So it got to a point where there were the $100 bonds that were supposed to be paid off over time were selling for $17.
Oh my goodness.
It didn't look good. They were 5 years behind on their payments.
Ow.
But they raised tolls, the gas crisis ended, and they got back on track, and now they're all caught up and they have an A- credit rating, and those people who bought those bonds for $17 look pretty smart.
Yeah, sounds like it.
There you go.
Okay, so is there any Bay Bridge Tunnel trivia that you would deem your favorite?
It won a Grammy Award.
What?
The Bay Bridge Tunnel won a Grammy Award?
Do you remember Bruce Hornsby and the Rain?
Yeah.
From the mid-'80s.
Right.
Their first album, That's the Way It Is, I believe was the name of it, won the Grammy for Best New Artist.
Okay.
And on the cover of that album is a picture of Bruce Hornsby and the Rain, and behind it is our Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel.
How about that? Oh my goodness.
Jim Duffy, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you
Always
here.
enjoyable.